Welcome again to the Gender Institute. My name is Phil Okeki Hejurika. I am the director of University of Alberta's Pan-African Collaboration for Excellence. Note that I bring this Gender Institute to you with a group of collaborators across African and Canadian universities. As an interdisciplinary and bilingual group, remember we are providing for you an initiative that you can access as a Francophone or as an Anglophone, as a French speaker or an English speaker. This facet of the Gender Institute will be addressing the very first basic area of concern for many researchers. Our hope and our plan and our purpose for this course will really be to examine research, and we are hoping that at the end of exploring that question, what is research, you will be able to produce a draft of a research proposal that you could build upon. For those of you who are accessing this pilot from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Anambra State, Nigeria, your draft proposal will come a whole lot sooner because you have about 3 months to access this course. Our basic objectives for learning for this course, as you will find in the modules, will be to explore the question, what is research? To explain the role of research in addressing social problems, and again to bring on the feminist perspective on research and social change, which in many cases is really not only interdisciplinary, but also in many ways something and a perspective that we think a whole lot about, but have not really explored sufficiently. We want to look at knowledge as situated ways of knowing, and to explore different ways of knowing, since we are coming from different continents, and to also explain the course objectives and expectations. You will find the readings along with your assignment, because we are hoping that you will be able to self-reflect and be able to begin to develop your research questions, etc. In a general introduction to this class, to this facet of the Gender Institute, we want to introduce you to research in a way that you probably have not thought about before. We want to bring research to you as something that you actually do every day, and that is asking questions about the world around you and trying to solve those problems. When we call it research, what it means is that there are systematic steps we take in doing research. And that is what makes it scientific, in the sense that scholars across the world follow similar steps so that we can arrive at comparable solutions or comparable results or comparable conclusions. So in exploring what research means, we will also be asking ourselves, because research is about asking questions. Where do these questions come from? Obviously, when we talk about research questions, we are thinking a whole lot about what will benefit society, because research is about solving society's problems. It's about addressing some of the key issues that we have in society so that we can make a better society, so that we as researchers, as scholars, could be part of making a better world for us and to those around us. So we begin, first of all, we're asking, where do research questions come from? In this facet of the gender training initiative, you will be exploring, where do your research questions come from? You will also be answering the questions, when I set my research question up, eventually when I find it, what makes it a research question? In other words, how do I translate social problems that I want to address into research questions? What will be that process? And then we'll be asking ourselves, where does theory or theoretical framework, where do they sit in my research? How do I come up with the methods? What is the difference between methods and methodology? And by the time I go into field work, what are the things that I need? What would be my checklist? And when I get my research and I have my results and I have my findings, what do I do with these findings? How will they benefit society? We want to say that these are questions some of you probably think you know. We just want to expand your thinking around them because we want to make research not only relevant to you, but also to begin to find your passion for research. We are looking at emerging scholars, postdoctoral fellows, doctoral students, wherever you are. We really want to encourage you to look at research in a brand new way by exploring questions that have to do with what is research, where does literature review, how does it help me in finding my research questions? How do I go from developing my research questions to theoretical framework? What exactly is the theoretical framework or theories doing in my research work? And what does methodology mean? How would I know that I've arrived at my methodology? Where do issues of ethics come in? Why would I have to need ethic approval? And where do I do not need ethics approval to do my work? These are some of the issues we will explore. And I can tell you that by the time you go through all of this, you not only identify your research question, which we continually fine tune, but also you can begin to put down something of a draft proposal so that by the time you get to your supervisor, you are much better prepared than what you would have been if you simply showed up without going through this facet of Agenda Institute. Again, welcome to Agenda Institute and welcome to the first facet and perhaps the one that you know a whole lot about, but we are yet to discover a whole lot that you may not have thought about.